The Adventurer's Log 1.1106.20. Hi, I'm Bobby, I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian. Spoilers are ahead, but before we get to that, let's get to this day in tech history. IBM signs a deal with the devil. On November 6, 1980, IBM and Microsoft formally signed a contract whereby Microsoft will create an operating system for the in-development IBM PC. During the summer of 1980, IBM was originally interested in licensing the popular CP/M operating system, but the inability to come to an agreement with Digital Research led IBM to ask Microsoft if they could develop an operating system similar to CP/M. Microsoft was already going to work with IBM to deliver their basic programming language for the IBM PC, but they did not have an operating system. However, Microsoft knew that a small company named Seattle Computer Products had developed an operating system similar to CP/M's called QDOS for Quick and Dirty Operating System. Microsoft suggested to IBM that QDOS could work as the IBM PC's operating system. IBM asked Microsoft to license and further develop the operating system, which led to the formal contract on November 6, 1980. After the contract was signed in December 1980, Microsoft would license the QDOS operating system to begin development of the IBM PC version. In July of 81, just weeks before the IBM PC would ship, Microsoft purchased full rights from the SCP for what was now called 86-DOS. IBM PC DOS was the name of the operating system that would ship on the IBM PC, but it was Microsoft that wholly developed the operating system after acquiring it from SCP. Microsoft shrewdly included a clause in the agreement that allowed them to sell the operating system to other companies under the name MS-DOS. It was this clause that changed the course of technology history, opening the door for Microsoft to become the dominant technology company of the PC era. Microsoft seemed to understand that by controlling the operating system, the underlying hardware became less relevant. IBM obviously did not consider this concept, nor did they foresee that companies would be able to successfully clone their hardware platform. Once companies were able to clone the hardware, they needed an operating system. Microsoft was more than happy to provide them with that operating system, which by design was completely compatible with IBM's PC-DOS. Once IBM lost control of the platform they created, power shifted to one major commonality between IBM-compatible clones: Microsoft's operating system. It was IBM's name that published the IBM PC into prominence, but it was a combination of hardware cloning and Microsoft licensing the operating system that created the dominant platform of the PC era, crushing nearly all competing personal computer platforms in the process. Without this seemingly minor clause in this pivotal contract, the history of the PC era could have been quite different than it was. That was a mouthful. All right, let's get into The Mandalorian. So we are on Season 2, Episode 2. Yes. So it opens with the Mandalorian returning back to the spaceport where his ship is to see if, because he helped kill the Krayt Dragon and he got the other Mandalorian's armor. So he's headed back, and along the way, he gets ambushed by some mercs. Fighting happens, and the kid, gets kidnapped, or at least held hostage. And so the Mandalorian, Mando, says, okay. Here's my jetpack. Give me the kit. And so the trade is successful. And as the merc is walking away with the jetpack, Mando pushes some buttons on his arm, and the jetpack takes off. the jetpack takes off, and Merc is killed. So after Mando gets back to the spaceport, he learns of a contact that might be able to help him find other Mandalorians, takes on a contract to deliver someone to the system nearby. The only hiccup is cannot use hyperdrive because the passenger is a lizard-like creature and the passenger is carrying her eggs. And if he goes to hyperdrive, they will die. So he agrees and takes the creature, alien, whatever, along. Along the way, we see some Republic X-Wing pilots patrolling, and they recognize Mando's ship as the ship that was part of the attack on the prison ship, and a battle ensues, and fleeing happens, and Mando successfully crashes his ship on to the planet. And as he's about to leave, the ship crashes through the ice and falls down. So he is going to fix the ship, but it's cold. And so as he's fixing the ship, the creature, the alien, takes her eggs and finds a hot pool or hot spring or whatever, and is bathing with said eggs to keep them warm. Well, Mando realizes that that's an issue because it's safer to be with the ship than anywhere else. So he goes after, and the kid, earlier in the episode, had been sneakily eating some of the eggs. And as Mando and the kid are close to the alien in the pool, we see the kid walk off and find another alien's nest and eat a couple of its eggs. And in the process, wakes up the alien family. Creatures look like ice spiders, so that's what I'm going to call them. They attack, and they've got to run back to the ship. As they're on their way back to the ship, more fighting occurs, more killing of ice spiders, and they get back in the ship, and they're on the way up to the cockpit, and Mando's fighting them off, but a couple get into the cockpit with Mando and the kid and the alien, and the alien saves the kid by killing one of the ice spiders. And you can tell that the kid feels responsible. He's like, oh man, what have I done? So it's the first sign of growth, emotional growth, at least that I've noticed. So as it looks like they're about to escape, the mama of the ice spider comes in and starts destroying the ship. But Mando and the crew are saved by the X-Wing pilots from before. They fight off all the spiders and save Mando and them. And they tell Mando, we looked up your ship. You look just like somebody, did the prison ship raid and all of that. You technically can be under arrest, but you also saved other Republic soldiers at a different time. So we're going to let you off the hook, but get your transponder fixed so we don't vaporize you. So this is the first time that we see the Republic pilots or the Republic soldiers not as heroes like they're portrayed in the films. So that's neat or different. So Mando, the alien, and the kid end up limping off to their rendezvous location, and that's the end of that. So to me, it shows the kid is growing emotionally by noticing he's done something wrong, and he feels responsible for allowing this to happen on because it was his fault. And he's definitely acting like a toddler with a parent who keeps telling him no and still does it. So I definitely see growth in the kid. He's no longer sleeping all that often, no longer acting like a small baby. So that's I believe that's going to happen, continue to happen in this season, if not even the next season. So a lot to look forward to. That was a lot to cover quickly. But I'm looking forward to the next episodes. So I wonder when Boba Fett will show back up, probably more towards the end of the season, which is understandable. Wonder if Mando will find the other Mandalorians. And I wonder if the Empire soldiers, the stormtroopers, whatever, catch back up with Mando. So we will see. That's all I have for today. I'm going to be having a guest tomorrow for a special video. Going to be talking about Mass Effect. Tomorrow is N7 Day, the unofficial holiday of Mass Effect, because N7 is a title, or military title, in the game series, and so N7 is November 7th. They've done news on N7 Day for quite a while, and with a lot of the rumors that are coming out, tomorrow might be a big day. So I've got a buddy coming over, and we'll be talking about that. So I will see y'all tomorrow. Take a chance, explore something new or old to you. The adventure is out there. Go find it.